I have to say, Tom, I found out from my son today. Why am I on Outlook web app when I click?
Gotta make sure I have all my board members too. Have to. Gotcha. Have done. Have trouble. Have.
We have executive, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she's with you. That's who you're missing.
No, I'm still missing somebody. I keep counting and I keep coming up short one person. Who am I coming up
Yeah,
short?
there's 9 of us on here, right? Commissioner?
All right. I'm gonna put this mic on, so when he calls, when you hear Mike calling your name, just do your roll call and we pump it through here, so everybody can hear you.
All right.
All right?
All right, a call to order.
You have everything good to go?
Yeah, you're good to go.
All right,
We're
go ahead.
All right. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies, at which time any business affecting their interests is discussed and acted upon. In accordance with provisions of this Act and Board of Education Policy 0162, the Board of Education of the Borough of Bound Brook has caused notice of this meeting to be posted in the board office and at Bound Brook High School and mailed or faxed to the Courier News, Bound Brook Borough Clerk, South Bound Brook Board of Education, and any person who has requested individual notice and paid the required fee. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Autry? Mr. Autry?
He's here.
Mr. Ball?
Mr. Ball's here.
Mr. Ball?
Mr. Bone's here.
Ms. Munson? She's here. Ms. Martinez?
Ms. Martinez is here.
Morris?
Who?
Ms. Morris?
Ms. Mars is here.
Ms. Stevens?
Stevens is here.
Ms. Bustamante?
She's here.
Mr. Valadez?
Here.
And Mr. Fazio's here. She's present.
Yes. Is there anyone that is in the audience that needs a translator? No? Okay. Boy, it's only November 5th. Once again, I just congratulate all the teachers out, for flipping to fully virtual at this point. I, as a fully virtual teacher, it is not an easy position to be in. It can be frustrating at times, but they've done it. They're doing a great job, and I appreciate everything that they've done. So that's pretty much all I've got at this point. At this point, we'll go into superintendent's report.
Yeah, just a couple quick things. Just want to give a thank you to Beth for getting us the Acme grant. She was able to secure a grant for turkey dinners for families in need for the community. She went out and got that, so thank you to her. Sometime this week, we're going to be accepting masks from the federal government. We're getting 2,423 small masks and 2,744 large masks for the district. And at some point in time in December, we should be getting rapid tests for use by the district. We have not gotten exactly how we're going to be using those, what purposes we're going to be using those for, but we are going to be getting rapid tests at some point in time. And I believe that is all I have for right now.
Out of curiosity,
Oh, I'm sorry, I got more.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have Students of the Month. We'll start with Lamont Annex and Dr. S.
Good evening. Congratulations to November Student of the Month recipient, Dominic Januzzi in Mrs. Ostrander's class, and Juan Aldis Brendan in Mrs. Formoso and Mrs. Alfaro's class. Congratulations.
Okay, we'll move right over to Lafayette with Mrs. Clark. Mrs. Clark, you gotta unmute.
Sorry. From Mrs. Cuba and Mrs. class in first grade, we have Penelope Harris. And then second grade from Mrs. Hendershot and Miss Raggett, we have Antonio Amorum. Congratulations.
Okay. And for Smalley School, we have Mr. Edwards.
Good evening, everyone. Our recipients for November, third grade from Ms. Collado, Ms. Teixeira's class is Dulce Gomez Vasquez. For fourth grade and Ms. Patak's Ms. Grouse class, Isabella Rodriguez. In fifth grade, Ms. Chesapolsky and Ms. Falcone's class, Jamie Cabrera Belize. And in sixth grade, Ms. Esposito, Ms. Mallon, and Caleb Gilbert. Congratulations.
And from Community Middle School, we have Mr. Sanders Sermon.
Hello, everyone. For seventh grade, our student of the month from Community Middle School is Gabriella Pavone. And our eighth grade student of the month is Amanda Desir.
And for Bamberg High School, we have Mr. Smith.
Good evening. High School Crusader Citizens of the Month, our ninth grade recipient, Nicole Martinez. Our sophomore recipient, Jordan Stockwell. Our junior recipient, Jocelyn Rodriguez. And our senior recipient, Jose Lopez Guardado. Congratulations.
Okay, and then we're going to move on to our GEM Awards, and we'll start with Lamont Annex with Dr. S.
The Annex November GEM recipient is Mrs. Vinziniak. Mrs. Vinziniak is an outstanding kindergarten teacher at the Annex. She goes the extra mile to help families and students adjust to virtual learning. Ms. Vinziniak receives great feedback from parents thanks to her commitment to providing a positive engagement classroom environment. She's always helping others at school and has even stepped up to mentor 2 new teachers. Congratulations, Mrs. Vinziniak.
We're going to move right over to Lafayette School and Mrs. Clark.
Lafayette's gem for the month of November is Lourdes Way. I cannot say enough about how impressed I've been with her command of technology. She's been in the district for a long time, and even new teachers found it overwhelming and intimidating. And she really took the bull by the horns, and from day one, figured out how to have the kids at home and the kids in school work together simultaneously. And I mean, she was amazing. So thank you and congratulations, Mrs. Way.
And we're going to move over to Smalley School and Mr. Edwards.
Smalley School's November Gem of the Month is Mrs. Victoria Catabi. Mrs. Catabi has done nothing but help these past few months. She's helped so many teachers translate during the parent-teacher conferences. She not only cares for her students this year, but she looks back to check on her past students. And she has put together a beautiful, right before we left for Halloween, a beautiful display of the Day of the Dead with pictures, food, and tons of props. So it's a beautiful display. It's on our Smalley Twitter. And she displays a huge success in Smalley School. So congratulations, Ms. Catabi, well deserved.
And we're going to move over to Community Middle School and Mr. Sanders Sermon.
The Community Middle School GEM Award winner for November is Mrs. Lamera. Mrs. Lamera goes above and beyond for her students each and every day. She is an academic support instructor and teaches math lab. Ms. Lemera sees all 282 students from the middle school on a weekly basis. Since the beginning of virtual learning in March, Mrs. Lemera has been a tireless researcher of best practices for hybrid instruction. She's met with students virtually and in person during and after school, and approaches every interaction with a friendly smile and a reassuring positive message. Mrs. Lemera can be found each morning in front of the community middle school, welcoming our 8th grade in-person learners. And by the end of the first week of school, I thought it was pretty remarkable. She knew everyone by their first name within 1 week of school. Mrs. Lemera is a mentor for new teachers and is always willing to collaborate and support her colleagues. Once again, her positivity and cheerful demeanor always shines through. So on behalf of the students, the parents, and the staff of the community middle school, I'd like to thank Mrs. Lemera for all that she does.
All right, we're moving over to Bamberg High School, Mr. Smith.
All right, our GEM award is awarded to Mr. Ben Fisher. As a first-year teacher, things can become pretty overwhelming. Now, add the pandemic on top of everything and the amount of stress teachers are enduring. However, Mr. Ben Fisher has taken it all in stride and has demonstrated his willingness to try new methods to help students learn. This is seen through his use of Google Meet breakouts, various types of projects, engaging lessons, and collaboration among science teachers. He has also shown his desire to be part of the school community through volunteering to help with the robotics team. However, the most noticeable aspect of his impact in the school is his rapport with students. Students genuinely enjoy his class and speaking with Mr. Fisher. In addition, Mr. Fisher has already been added to a faculty agenda where he presented how to implement Google Meet breakouts. He is also extremely studious when it comes to projects such as finding a way to test standards through the student use of Minecraft, cakes, etc. He also has fun experimenting with random objects in everyday life, such as Dunkin' Donuts sugar, which helps draw in our students. He even used a video of a person shooting a basketball hoop from an airplane as an example in a lesson. Mr. Fisher is always on top of grading and has taken time out of his schedule to assist his co-teachers by improving their base knowledge of science. He cares deeply for his students and constantly checks up on their well-being. He has impressed staff and administration beyond belief. For these reasons above and many more, Mr. Ben Fisher is recognized as the gem for Bamberg High School. Congratulations for an award that's well deserved.
And the GEM award for the district goes to Karen Schultz, our human resources manager. She's had a tireless task so far this year, organizing and getting all of our paperwork in order and all of our things in order, and to make sure that we had this new enrollment period with this new healthcare plan with the state. She did a fantastic job in getting everything taken care of for us. So she's the GEM award for the district. And that is all I have.
Okay. The only committee that met was Human Resources, right, since the last time?
Human resources and governance.
Right. Do you want to go over what we did in governance?
We just talked about getting ready for the new budget cycle. So we're just preparing and looking at budget priorities and talking about a zero-based budget and things like that.
All right. At this time, it is open to public for agenda items only. If anyone wants to talk about anything that's on the agenda, just give your name and address.
Oh, the microphone's here. Does it light up?
It should.
It's not lighting up.
Hold on, Tom's coming.
Okay. Oh,
Sometimes it's just easier that way.
okay. Hi, Patricia O'Reilly, 745 Schoolhouse Lane. First of all, the last board meeting, I had to leave early as always. And I tried to go online, and I'm just hoping that people can hear, because actually I wasn't able to hear pretty much anything from the part that I wasn't, in person. So maybe it'll improve with the Zoom format that you have now. So that was one thing, just generally. And then I believe Dr. Gallagher, I put in stuff on the computer.
Yes.
Can you please refresh my memory?
Well, you just went over the first one.
Okay.
The second one was, how will the policy be revised? And it's the school district security policy. Will students still have to use clear backpacks when they go back in person learning?
Yeah, well, so how is the security policy gonna be revised?
As far as I know, the policy that's on the agenda does not talk about in-person learning, nor is it talking about backpacks.
So there's no change then with the backpacks?
Correct.
Okay, FYI, I've heard from my kids that, like with the in-person, which is no longer right now, but when it was in person, a lot of kids weren't using the clear backpacks. So FYI. All right, and then what was the next one?
Revised policies for property inventory and use of school facilities. How may parents view new policy and revised policies? You cannot view those until the policies are approved by the board and posted to the online format.
Should be after this evening, right?
I believe today is the first reading, so probably not until January.
Okay, not until January, and then it'll be on the website?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the next one?
Restart and recovery. How many parents viewed the revised restart and recovery plan? What were the main changes for the new restart and recovery policy? I don't know how many people viewed the plan. I can't tell you that. As far as main changes to the plan, there were minor revisions that we had to do based upon the policy given out by Strauss Esme. Our plan really has not changed.
Minor by what, Strauss, you said?
Strauss Esme is our policy company. So there were some word changes that had to be made.
Okay, so now nothing major then for the changes. Okay, and then did I have another one?
Financial transfers of funds, explain the school activities, extracurricular transfers, explain the central services and administrative information technology transfers, why were these transfers of funds needed? Mike, do you have any idea what these transfers are for?
Oh, that's August, correct?
Correct.
I think I saw something about extracurricular.
Yes, school,
Yeah,
extracurricular activities, school-sponsored athletics and other instruction, central services, administrative, information technology, and student transportation services.
Yes, so those transfers there, we had to reduce the budget down, so that's why it's shown that way. And that's why you can see that it kind of is a little bit misleading. That's the reasons for that one. In terms of central office and information technology, that was, that was for some of the technology pursuit we made. And with the student transportation services, we are not transporting as much as we have been, and we have other costs tied into COVID and the pandemic. So there is extra money there, so we moved that to cover the other funds.
okay, thank you. And anything else that I put out there, John?
No, you did not.
Okay, that's all, thank you.
Hi, Martin Gleason, 292 Mattate, Pembroke, New Jersey. I just would like to express my support for Darren Schulman. As a teacher, he's a rare business teacher who's actually led a multi-million-dollar corporation as a CEO. He, as a wrestler, was a Division I All-American and built a house near Bound Brook so he could be here more often to coach his kids. He is it has been expressed to him that there's cultural problems within the wrestling team that started before he became coach. I take great offense to that, as I was involved with the wrestling program for 30 years. Our wrestling team has been co-ed for 15 years. We're as diverse in ethnicity during those years as the school. Furthermore, we were sexuality diverse as the school. 80% of our kids during my coaching assistance there went on to four-year universities. Some of those schools where they had full scholarships were the University of Maryland, Rider University, Virginia Tech, Boston University, Rutgers, and you can't have scholarship, but we also had a student go to Harvard. We've had multiple college academic All-Americans, and we've had over 30 first-generation students go to college, be the first one in their family to go to college. The coaches who supposedly created this nefarious culture were known for bringing homeless kids into their homes to live with them, ran a free lifting program at the school for 25 years. One coach even invited the entire team to his wedding reception. They've finally raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for these kids to travel all across the country. And I'm not here to talk about the wrestling team's accomplishments on the mat. I'm here to talk about their accomplishments as students. Finally, I'm not asking for praise tonight. I'm just letting you know you have an outstanding wrestling coach. You need to stand by him and allow him to do his job. And you'll find that the wrestling team is none of those things that some people think they are. Sure, every team's going to have kids who get in trouble, but that's not an indice of anything. It's not an indice of anything. It's an indice of total culture in your life and everything that's around you. So I ask for your support tonight, and I remind you that Darren and the wrestling coaches aren't people who are going to put a black screen on their Instagram for racial justice. Rather, we're the coaches who paid for a black student's tuition at Rutgers University. We're the coaches who paid for a student to take his summer school so he could graduate with his class, and that black student wasn't even a starter on the team. We're about action, and we ask for support from Mr. Shulman because he's an excellent representative. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to add that over my years here, that Mr. Gleason has been one of the few people who, time and time again, has reached into his own pocket and has provided funds not only for the wrestling program to go to the state playoffs and pay for hotel rooms, but also for summer clinics, as well as summer tournaments, and paid for kids' summer schools and other items. So I want to be very clear that Mr. Gleason has always had the best interests of all the kids and our wrestling program throughout the years that he's been here. I understand where he's coming from, and I understand his support, and I hope he understands that we all support our wrestlers and our wrestling program.
Is there anyone else that would like to step forward? Okay, hearing none. We move on to, I don't have any, on my online thing, I have no minutes attached.
Do we need to go into executive session? You want to just keep it?
I thought we were going to do it at the end, for him.
Want to do it at the end?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because we're not moving anything but him, right?
correct.
Yeah, no, we'll do it at the end. I don't want to have to make people wait. Online, I don't have any minutes. I don't know if anyone else got them. I have no, so I
Do we have
can't.
minutes for today, Lee?
Yes.
I don't have anything attached to my board docs.
It's just the executive minutes of 10/26/2020.
It says regular and executive meeting.
Regular was completed, it is on the content.
I have nothing attached to this at all, so I can't bring it forward because I've seen that. Am I the only one that?
I only have, I printed mine out.
I don't have the closed, so.
I only have the closed.
I don't have anything, so I can't put it. It's not attached to my board docs.
Are you signed in?
Yes. Should be. Did I maybe?
No, you didn't sign that.
My bad. Oh, I love technology. Right, Tom? I came in tonight, I was like, Tom, you gotta help me.
I'm only seeing closed attached. I don't
No,
know.
it's sorry.
There was an
I
email
was
sent.
under the Jeff.
How do you get the regular minutes?
Sorry. My bad.
The closed is attached.
And I opened it under the wrong. All right, so minutes for the executive, 10:26. Can I get a motion? Do we have, are they, can I get a motion to move the meeting?
Motion.
Motion. All right, I think the first one was Joanne, Ms. Munson, and the second was Ms. Morris or Ms. Stevens? I heard too many names go.
Here, so.
I'm gonna give it to Ms. Morris.
All right, Ms. Morris.
All right, does anyone have any comments on the,
Any comments, any questions?
hearing none, can I get a roll call?
Mr. Autry.
Yes.
Mr. Bob.
Yes.
Mr. Bone.
Yes.
Ms. Musson.
Yes.
Ms. Martinez.
Yes.
Ms. Morris. Ms. Stevens.
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano.
Yes.
Mr. Valerier.
Yes.
Ms. DeFazio.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
At this point, 6.1, personnel resolutions, district and high school. Resolve, the superintendent recommends for approval the resolutions as outlined in personnel resolutions under district and high school, 6.2 to 6.10. Can I get a motion?
We can't hear Michelle.
Okay,
Or-
so I'll,
We can't hear you, but you can.
All right, so you run the meeting.
Closer to them.
yeah, you know,
I have a-
I mean, I'm taped in, that's my problem.
Oh.
So I can't move my computer.
I can move behind you if we need to.
Well, I have my thing here, they just can't, for some reason,
Can you-
hear you.
Can
Uh,
you
can
hear
you sit
Dr.
here?
Gather?
Can you sit here?
Yeah, whatever.
Can I still move behind you?
No, I want her to sit here.
Okay.
Or I can just read. one
Just
minute.
go ahead and read.
Okay, so 6.1, approval of district and high school personnel resolutions as outlined for approval by the superintendent. We have 6.2 through 6.10. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Bale, second. Second, Ms. Stevens. Discussion.
I just want to say, it's nice to see, these new clubs forming. I think that's awesome. Computer Science, Society of Hispanic Engineers. That's nice. I think that's a great direction to go in. So I'm happy to see it.
I agree. I'm happy to see some extracurriculars.
All right. Hearing none. Let's do roll call.
Roll call.
Mr. Autry.
Abstain.
Noted. Mr. Ball.
Yes.
Mr. Bone.
Mr. Bone. I think we lost Mr. Bone.
No, he's, Mr. O.
I can skip, maybe he'll come back on.
Okay.
Ms. Musson.
Yes.
Ms. Martinez.
Yes.
Ms. Morris.
Yes.
Ms. Morris. Okay.
All right, after Ms. Morris go,
Ms. Stevens.
Ms. Stevens. I think we lost Ms. Stevens. I don't see her at all.
Can I go to the next one?
Ms.
Next.
Rosamano.
Ms. Rosamano. Ms. Rosamano's a yes.
Mr. Valerier.
Yes.
Ms. DeFazio.
Yes.
Mr. Bone, did you return? No.
I can mark not present for vote.
Okay.
Yeah, we have enough.
And do a last call for Ms. Stevens?
She's not here.
Okay, I'll just leave it as such.
Okay.
We have enough to pass on.
Now we are on to 7.
7.1, approval of middle school elementary personnel resolutions as outlined under personnel resolutions, middle and elementary, as recommended by the superintendent of schools, 7.2 through 7.6. Can I get a motion?
Motion,
Motion, Ms. DeFazio, second.
and Ms. Morris.
Ms.
second.
Morris,
Second.
I thought, that-
discussion.
did the state at some point cap the amount of sick day payout? Or that did never go through? Or am I thinking New York?
No, they capped, in New Jersey, they capped administrators, they didn't cap teachers.
Okay, good for them. Sorry. No other questions? Roll call?
Mr. Autry,
Yes.
Mr. Ball,
Yes.
Mr. Bone,
Mr. Bowman?
Yes.
He's back.
noted. Ms. Musson,
Yes.
Ms. Martinez,
Yes.
Ms. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
Ms. Stevens has not returned.
one worker not present.
Okay.
Ms. Rusamato,
Ms. Rusamato?
Yes.
Mr. Valerier,
Abstain.
and Ms. DeFazio.
Yes.
Thank you.
Educational resolutions, district and high school, 8.1, approval of district and high school resolutions as outlined by the, for approval by the superintendent. We only have 8.2, which is the MOU between Rutgers and the Bama Board of Education. Can I get a motion?
Motion?
Motion, Mr. Fazio, second. Second, Mr. Bone. Discussion?
Is that, anything changed from the last?
We just finally got the signatures.
Okay, good. All right.
Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Autry,
Yes.
Mr. Ball,
Yes.
Mr. Bone,
Yes.
Ms. Musson,
Ms. Munson.
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Martinez,
Yes.
Ms. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
She's still not here.
Ms. Rusamato,
Ms. Rusamato?
A little bit. She's here.
Yes.
Mr. Valerier,
Yes.
Ms. DeFazio.
Yes.
What was she gonna say?
Section 9, education resolutions, middle and elementary. Approval of middle and elementary resolutions as outlined by the superintendent of schools for approval. We have 9.2, our PEA preschool program plan. Can I get a motion?
Motion?
Motion, Mr. Fazio, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bone. Discussion.
Nope.
Roll call.
Mr. Autry,
Yes.
Mr. Ball,
Yes.
Mr. Bone,
Mr. Bone.
Yes.
Ms. Musson,
Yes.
Ms. Martinez,
Yes.
Ms. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
Hold on, she's coming on back on right now. Skip her for now and go.
okay, Ms. Rusamato,
Yes.
Mr. Valerier,
Abstain.
and Ms. DeFazio.
Yes.
And Ms. Stevens?
Yes. Sorry, my computer died.
No problem. All right,
I mean, literally exploded.
Ms. Stevens is back. All right, we're up to section 10 policies. Approval of district and high school policy resolutions as outlined by the superintendent. First reading of policies and regulations, 10.2. And 10.3, the security plan statement of assurance. Can I get a motion?
Motion?
Motion, Mr. Fazio, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bale.
Second.
Any?
Discussion.
No.
Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Autry, Mr. Bale,
Yes.
Mr. Bone,
Yes.
Ms. Munson,
Ms. Munson? Munson?
This is the first reading?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ms. Martinez,
Yes.
Ms. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano,
Yes.
Mr. Valera,
Yes.
Ms. DeFazio.
Yes.
Thank you.
11, financial resolutions. Approval of financial resolutions as outlined through 11.2 through 11.9. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Ms. DeFazio. Second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Morris. Discussion.
I did want to go through a couple of things.
Yep.
The donation, from the Women's Literary Club of Mount Road, so thank you for donating clothing. I know Dr. Gallagher earlier had talked about, acne, donating 50 Thanksgiving dinners. That's fabulous, thank you so much. And about this, I have a question about the state security grant. Is that to offset things we've already spent, or is that?
No, that's an addition. It's the grant we normally get. We usually buy our AEDs and things like that for.
Okay. And that's earmarked for specific things within the grant.
This year, the new AED is over for the new edition, I believe.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Other than that, I'm good. Anyone else?
Anyone else?
Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Autry,
Yes.
Mr. Bale,
Yes.
Mr. Bone,
Yes.
Ms. Munson,
Yes.
Ms. Martinez,
Yes.
Ms. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano,
Yes.
Mr. Valera,
Abstain from 11.2 and abstain from check. I think it was 76488. Hold on. No, 37184. My bad.
7184. Okay. And Ms. Fossil.
Yes. Other matters to come in for the board. I don't know why this happens all the time, but we seem to have parent-teacher conferences for the high school during board meetings. Now, it happens this year that they're actually not on in the thing, but as you have a number of parents on the school board, especially parents that have high school students, and this has happened to me in the past, is there any way that we can try and schedule that so it's not on a,
This year it wouldn't be because,
it's
It would
right
be
tonight,
next-
isn't it?
no, it would be next week.
It's next Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
We fixed that. I do have a.
Go ahead.
I would like the board to consider, just looking at the numbers, which I went over, with human resources. Currently, the community has about, in the last week or so, about 17 positives in COVID. In the last 2 weeks, we have 13 students with positives, and we've been out for 2 weeks. And we have 2 staff members who are positive, and we have roughly 18 or 19 staff members that are on quarantine currently. And we probably have somewhere around 26 students that are on quarantine right now. Right now we're supposed to be coming back November 30th. I'd like the board to consider us staying virtual until January 19th and get through the holiday season. I just foresee us trying to come back as the state's numbers are going through the roof, and I'm looking at the projections that we just got from OEM. The projections right now for the next few weeks seem to be in an upward trend. I think if we come back on the 30th going into the holiday season, I think we're only going to turn around and close again. I think our best bet is to just not try and come back in to only go back out. I think we should just play it safe, stay virtual until the 19th of January, and come back in the day after Martin Luther King Day. That's my suggestion to you for your consideration. And I'm open for discussion on that topic.
I think with the numbers the way they are, that's the smart and prudent thing to do.
Yeah, I would say in addition to the numbers and the risk, just the fact that we're going to be in and out. It's torture on parents when you think they're coming in and they're out. It's back and forth. It's much easier to deal with as parents when you have a longer term plan. When we're saying this is the way it's going to be for a few months, as opposed to we'll try and then 2 days later, sorry we tried, but we're all going out now. I know that was difficult this last time for us.
Yeah, I agree. As much as I want the kids back in school, I think if it gets worse, then we're stuck later on there. Worse forever. But you mentioned after Martin Luther King Day. How come not earlier in January?
Because I think, if we go out on the holiday break, if we just look at people traveling and getting together on the holiday break through New Year's, if you go 14 days past New Year's, it brings you to that date. So I'm just thinking in terms of, people getting together on New Year's and so on and so forth, take 14 days after that, just so you have that 14-day kind of period in your head so we can get out away from anybody who may have to quarantine or anything like that.
All right.
That's where I came up with it.
Just keep everyone up to date on athletics as well. If we're out of, will the high school extracurriculars and athletics still happen if we're not in school?
Yeah, at this point in time, our fall season is coming back this Thursday. I think that we should allow them to come back and continue to participate. I think as of right now, our winter season is supposed to be starting in a couple of weeks. I think we need to allow them to play. I think we need to allow them to participate. I think right now what we're trying to do is we're trying to mitigate a large number of people coming together and a large exposure of people getting exposed to COVID. I think if we limit it to our teams and keep our teams together, and our coaches in the fall have done an excellent job of policing the kids and making sure the kids have been safe and taking care of themselves. I think if we do the same thing in winter, I think we can get through the majority of the season without much of a problem. So my plan would be to allow athletics and even some clubs to continue during this time, just being prudent and taking the right steps. I think right now our biggest problem really is when we get large groups of kids together or even our staff together, the problem is when one kid happens or one staff member happens to go positive, you're then quarantining a large number of people around it. And the problem becomes the more that happens, the more people you're quarantining, you're then to the point where you're closing down like we did this last time. And I think that's what we're trying to avoid.
But, correct me if I'm wrong, but did this original quarantine a couple weeks ago, didn't that stem from our soccer program?
No, not just from our soccer program. No. There were multiple people.
People had it, and there was one soccer player.
It happened to be one soccer player, but there were multiple people. We had 2 people at the middle school, 2 people at the high school. So there were multiple people.
I don't know. I don't know. My opinion is if everything is closed down, I don't know why we don't have sports.
Murphy had something about
13 students that tested positive. Do you know if the majority are athletes or not athletes?
I can't tell you that. I can get back to you on that. I should be able to get you that data tomorrow.
Yeah, can I ask a question about that? Because the 2 documents we had at our disposal with the statistics doesn't have anywhere near 13 positives in it. So I'm just wondering, when did these 13 positives happen? Why aren't they on the documentation we have?
Again, this was the update that I got from Taryn today when I came to work. So this is the most latest information that I got, which was today.
I don't know. I just.
With regard to the clubs, if sports are going to be in person, can some of the clubs meet in person?
It depends on the club. I have to be honest with you, I think it would depend on the club. I think I would like to do as much virtually as I can, just to prevent the spread. Right now, you know, our indoor sports is basically 3 teams. It's a wrestling, boys basketball, girls basketball. The way the governor has put it out, and the way NJSA is putting it out, it's basically limited to those teams by themselves, practicing and playing. So again, there's no spectators allowed. Matter of fact, they're even to a point that they're even going to limit the amount of people who are even allowed to even come in. It's limited to coaches and officials and game personnel only. So the amount of people who are going to be allowed into these things is going to be so limited. You know, that's the only reason I would allow it to continue and to go forward. To be honest with you, that could change tomorrow too. That could change next week. They may say no indoors if the numbers keep going the way it's going. I just don't want to close the door on that right this second. I just want to be upfront about, you know, my thoughts right now about the school in general and large numbers of kids coming together, and large numbers of staff coming together. I think, you know, there's a legitimate concern. You know, athletic wise, I think, you know, it's manageable when you're talking about, what are we talking about? Those varsity basketball teams, maybe 20 kids. Boys and girls each have 20 kids. Wrestling team is maybe 20 kids. BTAC and coaches on both ends, you're talking 15 people in the gym. You know, so, you know, we're not talking about football where it's 40 or 45 people. So that's my thought process about it. I don't want to take something away. Matter of fact, when I was talking to Human Resources, one of the things I said to them was, if this thing continues the way it's going, we have to come up with a better solution for like prom and things like that for our seniors, because we can't just simply cancel the prom this year. We have to come up with some alternatives for our kids. We just can't continue to just take things away. We got to come up with some better solutions and do some things with some social distancing or whatever we have to do to have some things for our seniors, because, you know, we saw the toll it took on our seniors last year, not having the usual senior activities at the end of the year. And again, we all heard the news. We all know there's some vaccines that are coming through that they're fast tracking. We don't know how fast that's going to come out. We don't know how much change that's going to make. We don't know if that's going to mean that, you know, schools are going to open up fully or come back or do any of those things, you know, in the spring where we're back to full capacity, full of everything. I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball for that. I'm just putting out there what my thoughts are right now and looking for your feedback.
Anyone else?
Feedback on what specifically? I sort of,
Or sports about?
on indoor sports?
Correct.
Yeah, whether it's, I appreciate the safeguards put in place, but whether it's, you know, just the team and the coaches, eliminating the spectators certainly helps, but it's a false sense of security.
But these aren't our implement. This is the NJAA and the governor's recommendations for.
No, I understand that.
Let me ask you, when we're talking,
The minimum.
but when we're talking, you know, the recommendation from the JSA, does that include schools that are currently quarantined?
No, if the school's quarantined, then they're quarantined in their programs. They're
Right, so
not participating.
if we're quarantined.
We're not playing. Like right now, our football team and our fall
But
team
we're
is
not
quarantined.
we're just going virtual. Kids were allowed to play when we were,
Right.
when they were just virtual in the fall. Lots of schools had kids that they were just learning virtually.
Right, like learning virtually is one thing, like, are we going virtually because otherwise we would have to quarantine?
No, I'm saying I'd like to play it safe and go virtually.
But you just talked about 13 cases.
Yeah, but they're already out. So we've been out for 2 weeks. This has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with quarantine because we've been out. What I'm saying though is, if you look at the numbers and we open up on the 30th, the likelihood is we come back on the 30th, we're going to be closing by December 9th, 10th.
Can we do some sort of rapid test with the kids that are coming back, or some sort of safeguard against the students who are coming back?
We don't have the rapid test yet. That's part of what I talked about. We know we're getting them. We haven't gotten them yet, and we haven't gotten what we're supposed to use them for. I've heard we're only using them for kids who are showing symptoms. I didn't see that we're using them on everybody. I don't know how many we're getting. Like, you know, there's so many questions out there that I don't have a solid answer for you. What I can tell you is, you know, I try to stay on top of the numbers and I'm trying to stay on top of the trends. And obviously the governor is pulling back on gatherings. So, you know, one of the things I'm going to say after this is that we're going fully virtual for our board meetings after this meeting, because as of tomorrow, we can only have 10 people gathering. So this is the last time I can have a public board meeting until that changes. So from there, you know, looking at it from that standpoint, I'm just saying the numbers and the trends that we have, we've been out for 2 weeks. We still had a number of kids who just test positive in the last few days, as well as in the last few days, the number that have tested positive in the community that we just got a brief, you know, that I got a brief about over the last week, it's a high number.
How many is that?
It's probably 17 in the community. And then you tack on our eight or 9 kids or 13 kids. You know, again, I don't know if it's a full 13 in the last few days or if that counts the 3 or 4 kids that we had before that. But you're talking a large number in the last few days. So, you know, you look at the numbers and you look at the trends, all I'm saying to you is, and we talked about this the last board meeting, you've got Thanksgiving coming. Is it realistic to think that people are gathering for Thanksgiving? And we're going to open up right after Thanksgiving. Are we going to be open, or are we going to be open that long? Then you're going to get to Christmas. Are people going to get together for Christmas, or they're not?
Well, let me ask you, where do other schools stand? I mean, I thought other schools were just coming back.
Well, again, North Plainfield was supposed to come back. They're not coming back. And I believe they're staying out until January 19th. Beth, can you just tell me if I'm correct on that one? Because I know you were talking to North Plainfield. Yeah. So North Plainfield, they were supposed to come back. They didn't come back. They're staying out until January 19th as of now. Manville is proposing tomorrow night to stay out until January 19th. And I'm proposing that now.
I can tell you about Piscataway as well. They were supposed to come back today, and they voted on Thursday night to stay out till January 11th.
Same thing for Dutch Plains was supposed to come back middle school and high school today, and they're staying out until tomorrow.
And South Pembroke is going virtual the week after Thanksgiving and the week after Christmas, due to the fact that we were out for a week in October after Halloween, and our COVID cases were going up in schools. That we say it's the best bet possible for now.
Well, I mean, if that's a recommendation, that's what other schools are doing.
I just think it's the smart play.
I hate
It's the smart thing to do. It's not ideal,
Yeah.
but we're in the middle of a pandemic and our numbers are rising. And it's cold and flu season on top of it.
Right, but how many of those are actually, not that I'm saying that, but like how many have actually been transmitted through the school, or was it transmission at home?
The majority of cases, it has been proven, have been positives have happened from indoor gatherings and indoor dining.
Right, which is not here.
Correct, but we've got a rising population of positives. So how do you get the kids that are negative back into school? And how do you do that would be the question. Getting the kids that are currently negative into the schools for in-person learning and keeping the kids who are potentially exposed. There's no way to do that without exposing more people. Did that make sense?
I understand what you're saying. So what she's saying is, the problem is you're gonna have kids who may be exposed at home coming into school and then potentially exposing even more people in school before they find out that they were positive. And then you're quarantining even more kids in school, or even transmitting more COVID to kids in school, or even staff members in school. So again, I think we're still in that play it safe piece going to January 19th, which is what I'm saying. But I also don't want to penalize our kids to the extent of taking away athletics right now, or even letting clubs meet virtually or anything like that. I think all those things can still happen. I don't want to take everything away. You know, I could tell you from the standpoint, and Mr. Mormile, if you want to chime in, you know, the amount of mental health screenings that we've had to do with our kids and things like that, it's been a lot this year. And, you know, we want to make sure we stay on top of those things. That's one of the reasons that, you know, we still have our CST and our guidance people coming in right now. If we go out till January 19th, we're probably going to do that on a rotational basis moving forward to make sure we have some staff here, but also limiting how many staff are coming in and rotating them through. But again, I just think we have to play it smart and just look at the numbers. Do you really want to bring 1,000 people into the district, or do you want to limit that number to protect a mass spreading event? Tony, am I correct on those, you know, generally on them numbers? We've had a lot.
We've had a lot, you know, almost one per day where we're checking in on the student, at least contacting the parents. And in many cases, doing a risk assessment almost every day, yeah.
So, and again, you know, I just, part of my role is to give you my best judgment, right? So I'm just, right now, I think the best thing for us to do is to play it safe.
Okay, so you've argued that there's really a small group of students actually involved in winter sports. So the vast majority aren't. I mean, so I think that's good. I think that's having structure and having the ability to play sports is really important for their social and emotional learning right now. But that's just a tiny fraction of our district, which is why I really, really want to see extracurriculars offered in addition to sports for all the other kids who are not going to be doing anything until January 19th except staring at a screen. So, I mean, I applaud that we're taking care of sports, but that's just, we just acknowledged it's a small group of people we feel like we can handle fairly well and safely. So what about the rest of the kids and the rest of the grades? You know, even the younger kids, how we're just gonna.
Well, I said I want extracurriculars meet. I just want them to do virtually. I don't necessarily think we need to get them together in person. I think they can do it virtually.
But are there any extracurriculars on the younger grades? I mean, we're really talking middle school and up.
Middle school, there's extracurriculars. High school, yes.
Yeah, the drama club is meeting weekly, and they're doing a lot of great things. And I think that, you know, if we just keep encouraging, this is at the high school level, I don't know about middle school and below that, but just keep encouraging them to go think outside of the box and do what they can.
Yeah, and again, you know, I think, you know, when it gets down to the elementary levels, we don't have a whole lot of extracurriculars there to begin with. So, you know.
But being in school is part of that mental health, and now they're not doing that at all.
Yeah.
Middle Earth also has their complete virtual clubs and platforms, and I can communicate with them about the need to amp those up. But they've been doing that virtually since we went out at the end of last week. So
yeah, if we
they're
could get
already
more
prepared to kind of continue with that. In a conversation with Work Family Connection about starting some sort of, you know, online
games and
clubs
stuff.
or activities as well.
Maybe we can even talk to Middle Earth and Work Family Connection about doing some in-person things
We
to
have,
to a small
we have
number.
the opportunity to do that in our buildings, and, even, going so much as the staff, many staff members have approached, about, the possibility of them teaching from their classrooms, even if their classes are virtual. So, just for that normalcy in their lives, and we talked about that today, letting them come back into the buildings and teach from their classrooms if they choose to do so.
So we hear the concerns, so why don't you give us a day or two and let me come back to you and see what I can work out with, Middle Earth and Work Family Connection about doing some things at the lower levels.
Yeah, because I mean, I think offering even, like meeting up to like do Zoom games or like just something where you're interacting with each other, that they don't get to do when they're at home.
Okay.
And I would really request if, the teachers could communicate these activities personally, because if students are gonna get emails saying, oh, you can go do this, I know that my child does not read emails. They're getting bombarded by emails, so having 20 emails saying you've got these opportunities, probably not gonna result in a lot of activities. So, but if the teachers, the folks at school can talk it up as something they can do, they may respond and sign up a lot more effectively than relying on email.
Will do. All right, so, okay.
Regarding, responding to students in crisis, has there been an increase or decrease or any noticeable change since we went completely remote and cameras were mandated?
I think we're still steady. I don't think we've seen a reduction or an increase. I think it's been pretty much flat. As Tony said, we're averaging one a day.
My kids, they're more engaged and they sit still longer.
Oh, you mean engaged wise? I thought you meant emotional.
In terms of responsiveness and the teachers being able to see the kids who were remote.
Yeah.
We've only been doing that for a week, really, so it's too early to tell.
Right. I'd be interested to see if there was any sort of noticeable change with the cameras for the kids all the kids, but the kids who have been remote the whole time, if there's been any change.
I think you gotta give us a little bit more time so we can gather a little bit more data.
No, that's fine. It's just something that I had been thinking about. That's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Going back to sports, that's strictly for the high school. Is middle school gonna have sports, or is that out as a group?
Unfortunately, the conferences for middle school canceled this year. So all middle school sports were canceled for this year by the conferences themselves. So I can always talk to Mr. Steele about seeing what we can do. I think the bigger problem is, like, I know at the middle school, our gym is set up with desks and everything else, so we don't even have a gym for use. Same thing would be at Smalley, we would only have a half gym right now. So, we're gonna have to do a little bit more creative type things in a few other areas.
But this would be indoors, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Indoors is the problem, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, and her question was middle school sports, but unfortunately the conference is already canceled, so there's no teams this year.
Do you have anything else?
I don't. I just want to summarize that I'm okay to go to January 19th, and so I can send that out tomorrow, and we're good. Okay. So anything else?
Does anyone at home have anything to bring up new? Hearing none, we're open to the public for discussion for anything, if anyone wants to come. Anyone?
I have two online.
All right, we have two online.
Ms. O'Reilly, you still here?
No, she left.
Okay. So first is from Mrs. O'Reilly. If there is no change in the number of positive COVID cases in the district as of today, we already said there is. Do we anticipate kids coming back November 30th? I just answered that. We're going out to January 18th. Patricia O'Reilly again. If in-person learning is happening on November 30th, is there a possibility of full day? No. We have some more. So, Sue Del Conte High School, is there any way that winter sport competition can be streamed to a channel? The answer to that is yes. Alex Darwin, teacher at the middle school. Thank you for considering the health and safety of our student staff and the district as a whole by discussing the possibility of extending virtual learning. 5, Sue Del Conte High School. The Asylum High School Library Magazine is completely virtual this year through invitation Google Meets. We are holding meetings and virtual coffee houses for students expressed through creative writing and performances.
Nice. Anyone else? Hearing none, can I get a motion to move into executive? What are we going on?
We are going under 1, 2,
1, 2?
and that is it, 1 and 2.
1 and 2. The only thing that we move after coming out of that is our HIB reports. So can I get a motion to go into executive?
Motion.
I'll second.
Need a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Joanna.
Ms. Muslin.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Administrators, you can sign off. Thank you for being here this evening, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Go.
All right, you're unmuted.
So we're up to 16, approval of HIV cases high school. And we have approval,
And that's it.
and that's it. So it's 16.2. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Fazio, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Stevens. Roll call.
Mr. Autry,
Mr. Ars.
Mr. Ball,
Yes.
Mr. Bone,
Yes.
Ms. Mustin,
Yes.
Ms. Martinez,
Yes.
Ms. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
Ms. Stevens?
Oh, yes.
Ms. Rosamano, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Valerier,
Mr. Valerier?
Yes, I can't hear, but yes.
and Ms. DeFazio.
Yes.
Thank you.
So 17, approval of HIV cases middle and high school. We have 17.2 and 17.3. One is approval and one's review. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Fazio, second, Mr. Bone. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Autry,
Yes.
Mr. Ball,
Yes.
Mr. Bone,
Yes.
Ms. Mustin, Ms. Mustin,
Ms. Mussin?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez,
Yes.
Ms. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano,
Yes.
Mr. Valerier,
Abstain.
and Mr. Fazio.
Yes. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Ms. Morris, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bone.
Ms. Bone. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, just remember,
Hold on for a second.
our next meeting will be, virtual, and if everybody can just hold it. Can they hold on for a second, Bob, if we go off?
You can talk, okay. You can give instructions.
Can she give them instructions after YouTube? About what? I don't know if she wants to give
I just wanted to
instructions.
say something about what, no, I'll just wait till the next.
Should have to wait until next meeting, right? Yeah, you gotta wait until next meeting. So, I'll have to wait until next meeting. So we'll see you guys. Next meeting will be virtual. I'll send out, in my weekend update, all the, meeting details, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
When's your next meeting, the 7th?